Downgraded a little bit to 175 mile per hour sustained winds. That's not really a downgrade. That's just a little puff of smoke, because we are dealing with this hurricane that is unprecedented in a lot of areas. And even if it gets downgraded to a Category 4, it's still going to have the potential to bring devastating storm surge, devastating flooding, and very, very strong winds that could knock down buildings in South Florida. So here we are. This is the latest 11 a.m. advisory. 175 mile per hour sustained winds. Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, very concerned for you in the next 24 to 48 hours as it continues to move westward. Here's our future radar as we go through Thursday and Friday. Good agreement with the computer models on where this storm goes. Again, raking across the very flat islands of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. And then Saturday night into Sunday, watching you in South Florida and the Keys. So here's the latest track. Again, as of 11 a.m., remains a Category 5. We've got a lot of very warm water ahead of this. Not much to tear this storm apart. Had we seen a little bit more of a track across Cuba or even Hispaniola, we might be dealing with a weaker storm system, but that is not the case. And like I said, Category 4, 145 mile per hour sustained winds making landfall perhaps on South Florida will be devastating for some of these areas, and that's why people are evacuating right now in the Keys in South Florida. Here's our European model, one of our reliable forecast models, actually bringing a worst case scenario to the Miami area, a direct impact northward. That would bring the worst of the storm surge, the worst of the strongest winds and heavy rainfall across the Sunshine State, across South Florida. And then this one brings it out into the Atlantic again, perhaps for another landfall across Georgia or the Carolinas. So do not let your guard down. If you live across the southeast coast, you could also be dealing with Irma. Here's the steering pattern. This is what makes this so difficult. We know for the next 24 hours it's going to remain moving westward, but when will it turn? When will it get picked up by that trough? That is still yet to be determined, and that's why there is so much uncertainty as we go 5 to 7 days out. But one thing is for certain, Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, you are in line for possibly one of the strongest storms you've ever seen. South Florida, you need to be completing your preparations now and evacuating. And then the rest of Florida and the southeast coast, you need to monitor and listen to your local authorities, listen to your local forecasts as well.